ask me why. Don't ask me why. I told you once before that I don't know. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why.
So joining us for a quick managerial update on the playoffs, we have joint managers Neil Baker and Jon Underwood. Welcome, guys. How are you both?
Yeah, very well, mate. Yourself?
Not bad. Jon?
Yeah, very well. Thanks, mate.
Excellent. Well, first of all, congratulations on getting into the playoffs. I guess that was the aim at the start of the season, and you completed that bit. So far, so good.
Anders?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we started to wonder if that was going to be the case, but yeah, I was thinking it's almost a year to the day since we started pre-season preparing for this season, and obviously me and Bake started even earlier than that in terms of, you know, getting the squad right and everything like that. So yeah, to not get that chance would have been tough to take. You know, it's a year's hard work we've put in at least, and but yeah, we're just delighted to get the opportunity, obviously against 5 other very good sides and a bit of a lottery, probably more than ever this year, but we wanted the chance and we've got it. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Neil?
Yeah, no, absolutely, exactly the same. You know, I think it's been a tough time for everyone. You know, going through lockdown and everything that everyone's had to endure, and the health of the country and whatever else. I think if anyone had sort of said, would we be playing playoffs? You know, probably March, April time. I don't think me and Anders would have thought we would be. I think as the time moved on, and you know, started to become a little bit more under control, and football started to come back at the highest level, you know, there was always that element that it might come back. And obviously it was pretty protracted in terms of having to wait for the EFL, which was obviously the right thing to do. But then to get the news that we weren't going to play in them was a real kick in the teeth. But, you know, between a number of clubs, you know, everyone sort of fought for it and fought for what we probably deserved, to be honest. And for now, you know, for us, it's a month to prepare yourself for 1 game, hopefully 3. And you know, I'm excited for it, as is Jon, and I'm sure the players are as well.
So you've got the Dartford game coming up. How difficult is it going to be for you guys getting the players match fit? You've got no friends beforehand, and then also you're going to have the lack of atmosphere in the stadium as well.
Yeah, I mean, from an atmosphere point of view, I think we've seen with the Premier League games, it's had a real effect on the games. I think that everyone's talking about a bit of a lack of intensity to the games. I think you realise certainly at that level how much they thrive off the supporters. I think if this weather keeps up, you know, intensity is going to be difficult if you're playing in 30 degrees of heat with no fans. It will be a challenge. I mean, obviously the prize is massive and it's huge for all of us. But it's going to be who can find that extra 10, 15%, and maybe some teams will and some teams won't. We've got to work out how to get that into our players, building up to that game. So I guess for us, it's very different. We've not got 50,000 people in the ground. With, you know, 800 people normally at home is still a good crowd and they get behind us. But it's probably less different for us than it is the Premier League players. And we just got to hope that our boys can adapt, and the games may not be pretty. I haven't seen too many great games in the Premier League yet, so it's going to be about finding a way to get the win, and that's what playoffs are all about anyway. Can you get the win?
I think it's going to be very much about the team who hit the ground running as quick as they can, you know, because literally, as you say, you've got very little to prepare yourself for the game. Everyone's coming in off 13, 14 weeks without playing, which is a really, really long time. You know, it's unprecedented for us, you know, as, you know, management, for players. It's almost like where you're having a squad of 17 players coming in off long-term injuries. So we've just got to hope that our lads gel as quick as we can. Some pre-seasons we've had a great start to pre-season and had a really good pre-season. Last year we had a poor pre-season, or this year, whatever you want to call it. We've got to try and hit the ground running. Dartford, as will all the other sides. I do think that there's a slight advantage maybe to the teams that are playing in the quarterfinals, having that competitive game over Havant and Weymouth. Obviously, whoever wins those games have got to go to Havant and Weymouth, but I just think having that extra game might just be a slight advantage. But yeah, it's an unknown, isn't it? It's an unknown for everyone. Everyone's going into it a little unsure. Are we doing the right thing? Are we going to be training enough? Can we get enough contact sessions in to get our players where they need to be? And nobody knows. Let's be honest, nobody knows. It's going to be very much a bit of potluck, and as Anders said, it's going to be very much a lottery, which the playoffs normally are, but even more so this year.
Yeah, you two have quite a good performance kind of thing with Slough in the playoffs, but so you've got to be quite confident. But how much of you having to trust your players to be at the top of their fitness now? I guess the first month or two, you know, maybe you could understand them being a little bit of a relaxing. You've got to trust that they're coming back as fit as they can be.
Yeah, I think we're pretty confident in our boys, to be honest. We've never had any problems coming back from the summer break, coming back into pre-season. You've got to remember, a lot of these lads have been with us a good few seasons now, so we know what they're about, and they know what's expected. So with any group of, 18, 19 young men, they're all going to have done different levels of training over the last few months, and some have trained, every day, and 5, 6 sessions a week. Others would have done a lot less. But I think, it's been getting on for 2 weeks now, 10 days maybe since we knew. I've lost track of time, maybe a week. I don't know. I've lost track of time, but they've had time. Those that maybe haven't done quite as much as the rest, I know for a fact will be working hard now. And generally, lads keep themselves ticking over, even if they don't do loads. So I'm not concerned. Me and Bakes aren't concerned with where they'll be. I think we'll be in the same boat as everybody else. And we've got to back ourselves to get the preparation right in the few weeks that we have, and pick the right team and pick the right tactics and do what we need to do to beat Dartford. And everyone's in the same boat. It's not like somebody else has all of a sudden got an extra 3 weeks on us. Everyone's in a very, very similar boat. Very similar plans, and we've all had to submit our plans to the league in terms of our training and playing schedule, and they're all very similar. So we're all in the same position, and it is what it is, and we're just pleased to have the chance.
Talking about Dartford, it's you've had a good couple of results against Dartford so far. Is it really going to be straight out the window? Because there's obviously no form. There's, like you say, the fitness. It's going to be maybe who turns up on the day and in the afternoon?
Yeah, for me, the results previously don't mean a single thing. I remember the year that we lost to Leamington in the playoff semi-finals. We've beaten Leamington 6-0 and 2-0, and then we lost 1-0 in what was the most important game. So previous form means nothing. I think both games were very, very tight at their place. They were 2-0 up, and we came back to win the game 3-2. A very good game, actually. And then at our place, obviously, we nicked the 1-0. Their keeper made a mistake, and I think he sort of got injured in sort of making a save, and gave Robbo an absolute tap in, and we ended up winning the game. I think we defended really well that day. Put a complete new animal under Steve King. He brought confidence to them, and they were absolutely probably the form team in the league. And if he'd started the season, they would have probably been challenging for the title. So I think I read somewhere that they were averaging something like 2.3 points per game under Steve King, which is a phenomenal record. So going to be very, very tough, Dartford, and we've just got to hope that our lads can try and get through it. I don't think home advantage or anything like that will come into it. It will very much be a case of who can deliver on the day, who can, as Anders said, who can get that intensity in the game, and we'll hope that our lads will do it. But I'm sure King will be sitting there saying the same thing about his boys.
Yeah, John, you mentioned the fact, obviously, the time of year that we're in at the moment, it's hot. So I guess a lot of people would have been looking forward to holidays and stuff like that. But will the heat, if it's hot on the 18th or 19th of July, will it affect the actual pitch? And will that be a factor in the game?
And we've seen that in pre-season friendlies previously, where it's very hot and it can get a bit sticky and it's a bit slower. Ball doesn't move as quickly. Yeah, you know, if 18th of July or if it's the 18th or 19th, if it's 30 degrees of heat, it will be tough. It will be really tough, and I kind of probably hope that isn't on telly because it probably won't be a classic if that's the case. But you know, we're used to it. I guess, you know, Bakes is right. I don't think anyone's really got an advantage over anyone else, but the pitch may be. The pitch may be. We know it well. We'll be training on it going into the game. You know, we're always confident at home. But yeah, it can make a difference when it's hot, and the word is intensity. Everyone's been talking about it. If it's the same at the Premier League level, it's going to be the same for us. You know, no matter how much you're desperate to win, it's just something that maybe some teams struggle to find. And you know, playoffs are always a lottery. Every year they're a lottery, and I think this year is the biggest lottery ever. You know, it's 6 very good sides, 6 sides that know each other inside out. Everybody knows each other. You know, I was thinking back to, you know, when me and Bakes go and watch games, and you see all these other managers in the top 6 are out there watching them. You know, everyone knows each other, and there's no secrets. So form does go out the window, but everybody does know everything about each other, and there'll be every playoff game, I'm sure, will be very tight. And if you can get through against your 5 rivals, you've done ever so well. And someone's got to do it. Someone will do it, and we'll believe it can be us. Everyone else will believe it can be them. You know, everyone will have that belief going into it.
Cool. And what about squad update? I would guess that you've got obviously no physical injuries from any games and stuff like that. Everyone should have recovered. But have you brought in, say, Aaron Call as well, and possibly Joe Grant? What's the situation?
Yeah, we've had to submit a squad list for the National League. So we will be up to a squad of 19 to include Simon Dunn and Aaron Call. And that leaves obviously the 17 that we finish the season with. So we'll have 19. We're still waiting for exact confirmation, but I believe that there will be a squad of 17. So we'll be allowed 6 subs, and we'll be allowed to make 5. And if it goes into extra time, we'll be able to make a 6th. So and obviously we have to be wary, and that's why we're going with a 19, you know, who are going to come in and train, because we could have 1 or 2 that come down, you know, that become positive from a COVID test, and therefore if they get, you know, tested positive the week before the Dartford game, they won't be available for the Dartford game, and we've got no control over that. Yeah, I mean, we'll have the 19. We'll hope to be able to name 17, but you just never know. But yeah, we're going back. All the players will be getting tested for the first time on Wednesday, next Wednesday, the 1st of July, and then our first session will be on Saturday the 4th. Which will be a non-contact, and then we'll have a second session on the Tuesday, which will be non-contact, and then we'll be going into 4 contact sessions before we play Dartford on a Saturday, and within that time there'll be another 2 tests. So we'll be testing the players, the staff 3 times, and obviously if we progress, we'll have to test again and test again. So, you know, we're probably looking at a maximum of 5 tests. Hopefully we get no positive. So, you know, even to the extent, ridiculously, the pubs opening again on the 4th of July. Even myself and others, you know, all our friends were talking about having a trip to the pub and sitting in the pub garden Saturday afternoon. And I sort of said to Jon, I said, we have to be a little bit careful, because, you know, we have to almost, you know, make sure that we don't get a positive test, because get a positive test and one of us could be missing, or both of us could be missing. So, you know, it's now down to the players to try and do the right things, and we'll keep our fingers crossed for all the testing.
So you've brought in Aaron Call and Simon Dunn. Are they two that you've had to keep an eye on with their fitness as they're not part of the normal squad?
Well, obviously, they both finished the season playing, Hartley Whitney and Basingstoke. So they're in the same boat as our lads, the rest of our lads. So no, I think they're both very fit lads. They were both flying actually at the end of the season. So no concerns really on those. And they're two lads that you would back to keep fit and ticking over. So. No, really pleased that they're both added to what we ended the season with. I think they give us some extra depth, some extra options, and we're going to have a good look at everybody and see where everyone is fitness-wise, sharpness-wise, who trains well. We can have a team in our mind, and as Blake said, anything could change. Someone might test positive the week before, and we have to go in a different direction. So it's good to have options in the squad, and we're pleased with what we've got. It's a very together squad who know each other inside out, and I think they'll serve us well.
Right. The last question I want to ask you is, obviously all the teams that have been in the playoffs have said that there's a cost to them, and a lot of the clubs are doing fundraisers as well. It is quite hard for the club to balance the fact that you've got promotions, you want to go up, and the cost that's going to be incurred by the clubs. It's quite a tough decision for the clubs to do. But I guess you guys, footballing wise, wanted to play, but you can understand clubs having a reservation about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're in completely, that word again, unprecedented times. We've not finished the season. I think we missed 4 home league games. We've had no income into the club since March, probably the first week in March. These things aren't cheap, the protocols and everything that you've got to put in place is not cheap for a club to do, and it's not budgeted for. So I think the clubs run pretty well, and we budget every year, and this wasn't budgeted for. But once you get into this position, you want to do what you can to try and give yourself an opportunity to get up. I mean, effectively, we've got a 1 in 6 chance of getting promoted, and to do that, we've got to play 3 games. If we decided not to enter the playoffs, we've then got a 1 in 11 chance of getting promoted next season, but you've got to play 42 games. And so from a point of view, well, why wouldn't we? If we can get the support, which we're getting already from the fans. We know that everyone's has got different circumstances and whatever else, but I think that the club is a good place, and I think the club does a lot of good for the community, and it would be appreciated. Can't even say it. To actually have that support and feel like we're all in it together, really. Because I know we feel like that as a squad of players. I feel that we're probably the underdogs, one of the underdogs in the playoffs. When you look at the clubs that are competing, I would say that we probably are the biggest underdog. I know I've spoken to a few managers who said the same thing. And as a club, it would just be great for everyone to get behind us, help us get to where we need to financially, and hope that we can do the job and get ourselves promoted and get back to Step 1 football, which would be an amazing achievement from where we first came to the club.
I guess it's quite hard for the fans. Everyone's in, like you say, unprecedented times. People aren't earning as much as they can. But I guess the message is if you can spare 20, 50 or 100 quid, please send it through, because it is something that we've got to try and pay for, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's no one's forcing anyone to do it. Obviously we hope people can do it. And it's been really encouraging to see the start in the first kind of 24 hours. It's gone really well. And yeah, even if it's a £5 or a tenner, they add up, and the supporters have backed us in a different way all season. And I spend a lot of money coming to watch us, and we travel in good numbers. So we are asking them to dig deep again, but I don't think as a club we do that a lot. I think a lot of clubs ask for a lot, additional stuff, fundraising. So yeah, if they can support us, that's brilliant. And the club have supported me and Bakes throughout these last 3 or 4 months really well. They've been really positive about everything. They've wanted to make it work. They're putting in tremendous work behind the scenes at the moment to get us ready. And obviously our job then is to try and repay them with promotion. And we've done it twice before. And, you know, I know me and Bakes will be as positive as anyone that we can do it again. And we probably are, as Bakes said, underdogs in many eyes. I think when people talk about who might win the playoffs, we don't get mentioned too much, but that's fine. You know, they didn't when we went up the first time, and we certainly weren't favourites to go to Kings Lynn and win. So we've done it before, and yeah, we just want people to get together as they are, get behind us, and although they might not be in the ground, we know their support will be with us, and hopefully we can get us over the line.
Yeah, Bakes, you want to put a message out as well?
As Anders said, it's not the easiest of times financially for people, but any help will be, you know, something that we would really appreciate. I'm really struggling with that word today. I think I might have had a drink or something. But yeah, I mean, like Jon says, the fans have been brilliant from day one. You know, especially since we moved into the new ground. You know, we've increased our core support, and yeah, we're just asking for that little bit of help. And I never like, you know, when you see the fundraising things, because you think, oh, should we do it? I think it's the right thing to do now. You know, we've never done it in the 7 years that we've been here, and you know, we're at a time where there is no money coming in, and we do need that little bit of help to try and get us over the finishing line.
Brilliant, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Good luck in the playoffs if I don't see you beforehand. And thanks for joining us. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Aid.
Thank you.
Cheers.